Welcome to Web Design Tutorials for HTML. This is lesson number 2. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about the types of programs that can open an HTML document, and I'm also going to talk about the basic setup and structure of your HTML document. Although I'm not going to cover every aspect or everything that should be included in your structure, this is going to be just a brief introduction to the setup and structure of your HTML document. I'm also going to talk about starting and closing tags, or opening and closing tags, and I'm also going to talk about saving your HTML document, basically giving it the proper file extension. So let's go ahead and get started. In terms of the types of programs that can open HTML documents, there's really a lot of programs that can open and edit HTML documents. In this case, you'll notice at the top of my document it says Introduction-Notepad. Well, the program I'm using is called Notepad. That's why it says Notepad. So I'm going to assume most people know how to open Notepad. If you don't, I can give you an example of how you open it on Windows XP. Just click on the Start menu, and I believe it's in Accessories. So go through your Start menu, go to Accessories, find Notepad, and open it. If you're on Windows 7 or Vista, probably can't help you. I've never used either one of those operating systems. I've only used Windows XP and Windows 8. If you're on Windows 8, just go to your chime bar in the upper right hand corner of your screen, click search, and then type in Notepad. And then when you type in Notepad, to the far left of your screen you should see Notepad. Just left click on that and that will open up Notepad. But I'm going to go ahead and go back to my browser. So hopefully you know how to open Notepad now. If you don't, send me a message and I'll try to help you if you can't open Notepad. So let's start talking about setting up the structure for your HTML document. The first thing that you do is you define what version of HTML you're using. In this case, for our tutorials, I am going to focus on the newest version of HTML called HTML5. So the way that you would define this document as an HTML5 document, you would write an angle bracket, then an exclamation mark, and then in capital letters doc type, and then you'll hit the spacebar key and you will write in lowercase letters HTML, and then we're going to close it with an angle bracket. So what you see on the screen right now is defining this document as an HTML5 document. So that's how you want to write your way of defining this document as an HTML5 document. Angle bracket, exclamation mark, capital letters, word doc type, and then the letters HTML. So I think it's really simple, easy to understand that we're using version 5 when you write that. So let's go ahead and hit the enter key, and this time we're going to write a HTML tag. So you write an angle bracket and then all in lowercase letters HTML, and then another angle bracket. And usually when you're writing HTML markup tags, because that's what this is a HTML markup tag, you want to keep it in lowercase letters. And that's just good practice. It may render your HTML tags properly even if you don't write it in lowercase letters, but try to keep your HTML tags in lowercase letters. It's just good practice. And then hit the enter key one more time, and then we're going to create the closing HTML tag. So you put a / and then HTML and then angle bracket. So that starting HTML tag is saying this is the start or the beginning of our HTML document. Okay, we already defined that what version of HTML we're using. Now we're saying, hey, this is the start of our HTML document. This is where we're going to start rendering content for our HTML document. And then that closing tag, which has a / before HTML, that's saying this is where everything ends. This is where the HTML document stops. So this is what we're telling the web browser. This is the starting and stopping point, or in other words, if you want to use the technical term, this is the starting tag for the HTML document, or the opening tag for HTML document, and then that closing tag is the closing tag of the HTML document, or the ending tag of the HTML document. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So everything between these two tags, the opening and closing HTML tag, is going to be all HTML markup language. So the next thing that you want to write is your body tag. So you write an angle bracket, lowercase letters, you write the word body, and then another angle bracket. And this is the starting part of your body tag. And what the body tag does is it's the tag that you're going to write all the content that you can actually see physically on the website. So that's why they give it the name body. So this is your body tag. And then let's go ahead and hit enter twice, and then angle bracket / and then the word body in lowercase letters, and then another angle bracket. And this is the ending or closing body tag. This is where we say this is where all the information you can see on the website is going to stop. This is the ending point or the closing tag for the body section. Okay, so this is your basic structure and setup, although it doesn't cover everything, but this is kind of your brief introduction to the body setup for, or the setup structure for your HTML document. Okay, I'm sorry I used the word body. That could be a little confusing. Everything from the HTML tag to the body tag is your basic structure, including the document type you wrote at the top for defining the version type. So this is your basic structure of your HTML document. Always remember that HTML tags, most of the time, I would say 98 to 99% of the time, come with an opening and closing tag. And as you can see, for the body tags, we have the opening tag that doesn't have the /, and then we have one that has the /, which is saying this is a closing tag. For the HTML tag, we have HTML without the /, saying it's the starting point, and then we had an HTML tag with the / before the letters HTML, indicating that it's the closing tag. So those come in pairs because they're HTML markup tags, whereas the first part, the document type with the HTML, is defining the version of HTML we're using. That's not a normal tag that has an opening and closing tag. So hopefully that makes sense to you, what I mean by that. And that's just, as I said, it's defining the version type, the doc type with the HTML. The other tags are actually HTML elements. So there is a difference. And I'm sorry if you heard my phone in the background. I've got my business going on, and I might get emails that are really important, so I have to keep that on, unfortunately, during my tutorials. So now that you understand how to do that, the next thing I want to talk about is actually saving your document with the right name, giving it the proper name, the file extension. So if you go to File and go to Save As, when you save this document, you're going to give it the file extension .htm or .html. So you'll write .htm, which I've already saved this document, so it's just going to overwrite the original, but you can write HTML or HTML, and that stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And as long as you give it either .htm or .html, it's going to save the file as the proper thing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and it's going to give me a warning, and I'm going to replace it and hit yes. And if we go to our file structure or look on our computer for that document, let's go to Documents, and then let's look for Web Design Tutorials for HTML. Here it is right here. Double left click on that, and you'll see that that file that I saved called Introduction has the Firefox icon. So that means I saved it as the proper name. And if I double left click on that, it's going to open it in my Firefox web browser. In this case, it doesn't display anything because we haven't written anything in that body section. And remember, the body section is the visible content that you're going to see on the website. So I hope that this tutorial was helpful in showing you how to set up a basic structure for your HTML document, and also for defining what version of HTML you're using. And I hope that you now know how to save your file properly as well with the proper extension with the .htm or .html. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a message on YouTube, leave a comment, subscribe, and give me thumbs up, favorite, give me some kind of feedback to let me know what you guys think of these HTML tutorials. I know some of you will already understand this stuff, and if you just wait and bear with me, I can promise you there'll be more content, and some of it may be relevant to you. So hope that you stay tuned for future tutorials. Have a great day.